Okay. How you doing, y'all? I'm James.
I'm Chip.
What's up, guys? Tonight we decided that we're gonna make this video and we're gonna talk about basically what tonight's whole discussion is gonna be about localities versus morphs. Um, each one definitely plays importance in what we do today, and everything like that. So um I want to start off talking about like it amazes me where we're at in when it comes to reticulated pythons. I would have never thought at the very beginning uh that we would have this amount of mutations and stuff and the work with. It's crazy to think about. When I first got in this years ago, years and years ago. I was the typical guy that I don't know. I like reptiles. And I don't know. I remember I saw a picture of a Sula, and I saw a picture of a Jamp, and I thought they were the most beautiful things in the world. Um, I thought they were really really cool, and for me, I wanted to start. I I was going to pet stores. I was, asking anybody who I thought had any type of experience with reptiles in general if they knew what a reticulated python was. When I saw uh, those two localities, man, I was just hooked, and I just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I was just hooked, and that's what I wanted to do, and I used to go to some local reptile shops in Houston that were able to get some animals from uh, Indonesia and whatnot, and that's how I kind of started. They were, reptile shops that were able to get some snakes from over there and whatnot, and I would I'd give them money, whatever. I don't know if I was paying more or whatever, but whatever the case may be, as I was giving them money and I was getting these wild caught animals and whatnot, and they were crazy, but it didn't matter. I loved them. I thought it was the best shit, in the world. And like I said, now all the morphs, all the different colors and patterns, man, it's just crazy. Um, I'm gonna leave that right now, and I'm gonna go to Chip and see what he's got to say about this, and then we'll go back and forth about it.
Well, I'm not too much different than you. Down in Florida, where I was born and raised, of course, reptiles were everywhere down there. First time I saw retics was at like a little flea market type animal thing that was outdoors, outside of Lakeland, Florida. And first time I saw reticulated pythons were all these little things, probably 3, 4 footers, and they all had bright yellow heads. And I thought it was the coolest snake in the world because you had this brownish looking snake with a bright yellow head. And I didn't really know what they were at the time. I knew what Burmese pythons were because those were everywhere. Everybody had a Burmese python, but in the 80s. But I just thought they were the coolest noodle looking thing. At that time, I had no idea how big they would get, but I knew they were beautiful. And back then, of course, there's no morphs. Tiger wasn't even around at this time. Um,
Right.
yeah. And then I moved up to Illinois years later with the family, and there was little pet stores and little pet expos, and a guy named Carl Herman and his buddy Monty would go around, Monty more than Carl, and sell their snakes, and I saw more. Only they looked different. There were some with yellow heads, and there was these really crazy patterned silver, light brown looking snakes. Come to find out later, they were Jampayas and Borneos and stuff like that. But they weren't singled out. These guys were importing animals from farms in bunches, not just singling out certain areas. and selling them as, you know, reticulated pythons. And I started falling in love with them. And I remember Monty had a huge, don't even remember what locale it was. It wasn't a Sula because it didn't have that pattern, but I wanted to say Sumatran. That's why I fell in love with Sumatran. And real high silver sides, and it was a big snake. It was probably about 15 foot, big for back then, one of the biggest snakes I ever seen. And I just started getting into that, and a little later on, bought my first retic, and it was a normal. And I believe it was from Bob and Carl's breeding. So I don't know exactly what it was, but years later, I found out that Carl and Monty did a lot of stuff with the Sumatran bloodline. And I started seeing those specific locales, and Mr. Gaspar was around, and he did the Jampayas, and I saw those again, only I knew what they were now. And so my two favorites always have been the Sumatran and the Jampaya. And for so many years, it wasn't until the 2000s that we had retic morphs, really, besides the tiger. You know, and so seeing the different colorations and the variants of these different animals in different localities and stuff, and Jampaya was king real quick. And it's always been my probably second favorite of all of them. And I've always tried to keep a quote unquote normal at all times, because that's where I think they're beautiful. And that's where I think the industry has lost the locality and just the passion and respect for a locality animal. And we're not talking super dwarfs, we're not talking these specific islands, but where these big snakes that came from.
I agree with you 100%. I love where we're at right now. I would be lying to you if I told you that I didn't. I love where we're at. The different patterns, the different colorations. I mean, it's amazing to me. When you think about pattern and color and everything like that. I mean, you think about ball pythons, man. Oh my God. The ball python people can make whatever the fuck they want. You know what I mean? Like whatever pattern, whatever color they want. The fact that we can do that right now with retics is amazing to think that amazes me. Because where I started from, where you started from, Chip, I mean, it was all normal stuff. And the thing about it is that my shit, just like you, the shit that I started out with, there was no localities. You know what I mean? Like there was, like, I didn't know where they came from. It was a reticulated python. And, the thing about it is that I think we have lost a lot of appreciation, respect for the animal. There's so much stuff out here that's beautiful, amazing, and it's hard to not look at certain things, certain genes, and go, God damn, that's amazing. But a normal, I guess what we would call a normal reticulated python is how my passion started. Just like you and probably like a lot of others. And then you think about all the stuff that's going on with U.S. art, all the laws and everything like that. I mean, localities. Oh my God! I mean, that's I think it's as cool as it is to mix stuff and make new things. I mean, keeping things pure if that's got to be important.
That's more important in my opinion.
You know, it's important to me. I mean, like I love seeing all these different pattern animals and different, colors. I mean, I love animals that have a lot of pattern and a lot of color to them and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, at least for me, I guess because I'm old head, old school, whatever, however you want to say it. I remember what made me love these animals, and uh, I mean, if you're just getting into the game and it's an albino or it's this or whatever fucking whatever morph it is, and I'm not talking shit or anything like that. And I want everybody to know that this is just my opinion, anything like that. And at the end of the day, I love all these animals. I love all the different colors and pattern. I love everything reticulated python, uh, from the bottom of my heart. But the localities and stuff like that, man. I remember like at one point in time, and I'm not bragging, I ain't nobody, I ain't shit. I mean, it is what it is. But at one point in time, we probably had the largest uh, group of dwarfs in the whole nation, and that's not that's. I'm just telling the fucking truth. A lot of the new people that gonna watch this be like, who's this guy? Whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Believe it or not, it's whatever. Back in the day, when we had a lot of jams, I thought. I mean, you look at it now, Jampayas are not very common.
Not at all. Not like they used to be.
Exactly, and when I was, I was getting all these super dwarfs and stuff like that. We didn't know the locality. That's what the fuck they were called. I didn't know if it was Madu. I didn't know if it was Kalatoa. I didn't know, whatever. I know it was Honey Island. I didn't know that shit. It was called fucking super dwarf, and that's what the fuck I went with. But my whole point is that that at one point in time, some of these animals that I felt that were common are no longer common anymore. So the importance of them are, I mean, they're fucking important.
They're more important.
There are people that are kind of like, I mean, it's, what, I'm not dogging anybody or anything like that, but at one point in time, like I had a wall full of fucking Sulas. I had a wall full of Bhutans, and they were in my eyes, they were the most beautiful animals in the world. And I really don't want to get into what happened and whatnot, because it's kind of heartbreaking and whatnot, whatever. And I don't want to talk about it. But my whole point is now, there's not, you can't go out and it's not like you can go out and you can go buy a pure Sula jam or anything like that. And now if you do come across them, man, it's big money. And
when you used to be able to buy them for $100 a pop.
Right. And I'm not saying they're not worth the money.
No, they're absolutely worth the money. But
they're that fucking rare now. And, the fact that we can't just go out and get these animals if they're important. I mean, I don't know how you feel about this. I mean, I do actually know how you feel about these things. I think morphs are important. I mean, it's cool to see what we have now. It's cool to make the next big thing. It's important. It brings in new people and stuff like that. But I think we lose the integrity.
Yeah, that's yes. Because think
We
about
lose
this.
the,
Well, the integrity. I just want to stop you. I'm sorry, but the integrity is it. We're teaching people to keep chasing that next big morph. That next big morph is the next big money. And then they're viewing these animals as, yeah, they're pretty, but the prettier they are, the more money I'm going to get, the more I need to breed, the more I need to do this. Your Sulas, Sumatrans, all of those, the Borneos, the Philippines, everybody knows the super dwarf stuff, but nobody knows the bigger locales, because when people get those things, they want to cross them to see, oh, can this pattern morph into this and make this hot new morph look just a little bit better, because they're trying to do it ball python style. Meanwhile, what happens if you take that one Sula, that one Sumatran, and you breed it, and it dies the next year? You're done. You're no more anything. And people are respecting the pure super dwarfs a lot now, but they don't realize how the mainland animals are incredibly important, and they vanish. They're gone, basically. They're pretty much almost extinct in the US. And it's horrific that someone will get excited about the next platinum orange ghost stripe super tiger, whatever. And I've got a world's first. Everybody wants that world's first morph. That's great. But you're out of bloodline. You're out of history. You're fucking up genetics. And it's just going to tunnel itself. The priorities are way out of whack. And everybody did this to themselves. It's not one single person's fault. It's, as a collective, the priorities got out of whack because we thought we would have these animals forever. And we don't. And we are limited. And it's really sad that the new people coming in will not experience that joy of walking to a table and seeing an amazing locality mainland animal sitting there and be like, wow, look at how that pattern is so much different. Because when you hear someone say a normal retic, they're like, oh, I got a normal retic head albino. I got a couple normals in here. Oh, that'll make good cobra food. Because everybody's thinking about the damn morph. And I understand the morphs have their place, but everybody and their uncle are chasing morphs and world's first morphs. And it's just not exciting to me. This is a personal thing. I'm not speaking for James. I'm not speaking for anything else. Morphs are not exciting to me anymore. I can go on Morph Market and there's all the same freaking animals on every page, multiple. I can pick and choose which of that one morph I want just by looking at it, because there's so many damn options. But you cannot go on to any retic for sale site or find anybody and be like, oh, there's a Suriname. Oh, there's a Bhutan. Oh, there's a Bali. Oh, there's a Sumatran. There's a Borneo. You can't do it because they're not around. And those animals are so incredibly beautiful. Head structures, coloration, patterns, markings, behavior, they're all different. And it's sad that we have gone away from that.
No, I agree with you. Like, I don't really consider myself a morph guy. I mean, people who know me and know my background, they, at one point in time, I was known for like anthrax stuff. That is a morph. But, I'm all about having something and trying to improve it. I didn't try to put anthrax in everything. That was not important to me. My thing was this is beautiful. Let's try to make it even better. And that was what was important to me. I love Morphs. That's what keeps the hobby going. you know. But as much as I love Morphs, I love localities. And where they're at, you know. And there's only so much we can do. I mean, there's, you think about morphs and stuff like that. There are people that are making like all these like 5 gene animals and stuff like that, you know, and that's great, you know, and whatever makes you happy, you know, do what you do, you know, do you by all means. But it, they making these animals and they post them up and everybody's like, oh my god, look at them. And honestly, they look like shit. I don't know what to say. I mean, they look like shit. I mean, the potential in breeding is there by all means. But man, there's something about localities that, I mean, goddamn, that's where we started from. I mean, like I said, I'm all about making new things and making things exciting. But to not think that localities and whatnot, and first of all, okay, that's my son. He's fitting things and stuff like that. I'm a proud daddy. He loves these retics, these animals and everything like that. He wants to go to school to become a herpetologist and shit like that. And you know, he's young now. He might change his mind, you know, as soon as he, you know, starts, you know, fucking around with some hoes, probably change his mind. But anyhow, it still make me happy as hell. He probably handles retics better than a lot of these grown ass folks and everything. And he ain't but 15 years old. I'm proud as hell. All right, go on, boy. Hey, quit jerking off in your socks. All right, your mom's getting mad.
Yeah, to go on
what I'm getting at. Yeah, what I'm getting at is that, you know, it's we can't, you know, we love retics. Most of us do. You know, and we do this for the animals. Like, do I want to breed? I want to breed because I like the whole process of it. I love the whole process of animals. Then we got to, you know, cooling them down, warming them up, doing everything, the laying process, the incubation process, man, there is nothing like having a clutch of eggs and they start pipping and you cut them and it's amazing. Especially if it's animals that you raised up as babies, you know, it's amazing. And making new things, I mean, it's incredible by all means. But let's not forget where this all fucking started. And it's really up to us, man, to keep it going. It truly is. I mean,
going responsibly though.
It's right now, I mean, it's not like we can just get whatever we want from overseas. Hey, you know what? Hey, money talks. I know you can, but I'm talking about being legal.
Yeah.
And
breeding responsibly. That's the thing. We are bottlenecking. It's simple math. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if you want to sit. I don't care if the big names come after me. The truth of the matter is it's simple mathematics. There's a certain number of retics in this country right now. Most of the genetics are related. You bottleneck genetics really quick when you have a small number of animals. It's the same thing. It's the same concept with feral cats. If you got a neighborhood, you got 40 feral cats outside, they breed with each other. They might look normal 5, 6 generations, but they start bottlenecking. You get some cool ass feral cat colors out there and little kitties running around looking all crazy, nice little morphs running around, but they bottleneck. and they bottleneck and they bottleneck, and eventually your gene pool is done, whether you've got 5 different types of morphs and whatever, because there's only a certain number in here, because everybody buys from each other and wants to make that hot new morph and it's got that gene. Nobody is selective breeding the way they're supposed to. They can say they selectively breed all they want, but you bottleneck.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I agree with you 100%, you know, and like I said, I'm not calling nobody out by no means. And I just, you know, man, I love that ocelot shit. That rainbow ocelot. That's amazing.
it
To
is.
me. It's when it comes to, you know, having like wild caught stuff, new blood and whatnot, that's
Absolutely.
pretty amazing. You know,
Literally, ocelot and hypo are the only new blood in the retics right now.
yeah, and it's amazing. Uh, but my whole point is that it's just Jesus Christ. I guess the problem is this, is that we have so many new people coming in, which is great. It's great. We need new people to grow. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where I know that a lot of these new people, I mean, they're not researching. they're not learning shit. They'll ask a question and they're expecting somebody to just give them the answer.
And they get it.
And that's fine. We're in a new era. I mean, I got a brand new 2020 MacBook Pro right now. This is what I'm doing this shit with and everything. And we have the world at our fucking fingertips and shit like that. And, you know, I know when I first did this shit, and it's the same with you, Chip, probably, and with a lot of others. You know, there was nothing. There might have been 5 fucking people that had retics. You know what I mean? And whatever literature, I mean, right now, if you know what I know, you know what you know. The literature back then was fucktarded. I mean, literally.
They come from Southeast Asia. They get 32 feet long. They eat human beings and they're mean.
I mean, pretty much. So, we were all learning at the same time. You know, we were all learning, and you know, but that being said, that was somebody like me and you and a lot of other people that have a true passion for these animals. That was great, because, you know, it's awesome if you can go to school and learn some stuff. It's great that if there's like some really, really good literature and you can read about it. It's great that you can go on the internet now and find some stuff and learn about it. But, you know, hands-on experience, there's nothing greater than that, because, and there's just nothing greater than that. And to go through the shit that I went through and the shit that you went through and some others, and still love these animals, is actually kind of amazing that we still want to fuck with them.
I agree. But we also, we learn it's a different era, different consequences. And the fact of the matter is, you don't hand a kid working at McDonald's, living in a 1-bedroom apartment, a reticulated python. I don't care if you agree with me or not, and I don't want to hear the argument. We all got to start somewhere. This is the largest snake in the world, and whether you raised it from a baby or not, you cannot financially take care of this single animal. I see so many people. I got $300 who's got a snake. If you have to shout out the maximum number that you can spend, you cannot afford the animal. I don't care who you are. And that just shows, and those people get animals. And yes, back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, we all did the same shit, but we learned. And now we have social media, and we need to respect these animals. We need to know the origins of these animals. We need to not look at them at dollar signs. And I am so perturbed that you do not see posts talking about lineage and where these animals come from and how to handle these animals and what to properly do enrichment wise with these animals. Everything's got to be so cut and dry, because when we started, we had nothing, but we learned. And now we have so much knowledge that we now have a group of people that think they're 100% experts. And the thing that drives me up the wall is everybody's got to keep things different. What works for you might not work for him. It's what works for the animal, not what works for you. And
100%.
My big issue is retics are some of the hardiest motherfucking snakes on the goddamn planet. They are tough. They are resilient. They are smart. They are beautiful. The best thing you can do is research where they live all year round. I don't want you people that are new to get on a site, get in a group, and be like, that guy's got a Herpstat Pro and he's using a vision cage and he's keeping his thing at 91 hotspot. That's great. That works for him, I guess. But the fact of the matter is, these animals have been known to live in 50-degree weather, and some of them can't tolerate 90-degree weather.
I want to look. I live here in Texas, and I think most of the fucking world understands the bullshit that we went through, shit that we're not used to at all. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. If the animals that I have, if they were Burms, them bitches, if they lived through it, they'd all have fucking RIs. I promise you that. I promise you that. I was blessed enough to not lose my power, and I have electric heaters and whatnot, and I had them going, and I was able to keep them warm enough. Not warm like they should be, warm enough. And I learned a fucking lesson. All the retics are good.
Yeah.
Because they are hardy. But like I said, I was blessed enough not to lose my power. But if all these retics were Burms, they either be fucking dead or have fucking RIs and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
that's because Burms come from a completely different area.
Right. And the whole thing about it is like this whole video that we're doing is about retics and learning. We all start somewhere and stuff like that. But if you decide you want to have a retic, like what's your reasoning?
Yeah.
What is your reasoning that you want to retic? Why? What the fuck is it? And why is it that you're not trying to fucking learn everything there is to know about that?
The two most reasons that I see, and people can deny this all they want, I fucking watch it all the time. Money, and I've got a big snake. That's the main. I don't see as much passion as there used to be back when we were around. I want to show off a big snake, and I want to make money.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna lie to you or anybody that's watching this fucking video. You know, retics get big, and dealing with an animal that's that big and whatnot. That's part of the what draws me to it. You know what I mean? It's I mean I don't know the fucking human nature being able to tame the beast or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck it is. But my whole thing about it, you know, is like any motherfucker who thinks that you're gonna get, you're gonna spend way more money than you're gonna make, and you just you're an ignorant son of a bitch, plain and simple. And if I don't even get it. I don't understand how people. I don't care what kind of reptile it is. I don't give a shit what it is. I don't dogs, motherfucker. I don't just because so and so is breeding pit bulls and they make a bunch of money, don't mean you can. I don't want to talk about pit bull. I'm the most hated motherfucker in the world. I got pit bull. I live in Texas. Everybody hates Texas. You talk shit about me all the goddamn time. I live in Texas. I got pit bulls. I got reticulated pythons, and I got a shit ton of guns. I'm the most hated son of a bitch in the world. So whatever. I, you got to have a passion for these animals, plain and simple,
and a respect.
And thank you, because it's. I don't. Where is your common sense at?
Going back to the whole. Well, really going back to because we kind of sidetracked the whole. We got to have the thermostat and the heat tape and all this. People in Indonesia keep reticulated pythons, thousands of them, in outdoor chicken wire cages all year round. Do you really think that that is a set temperature of 85 and 91? Absolutely not. They go through seasons. They go through humidity changes. They go through everything. And it's healthy for them. They live a long time. These animals can live 40 years. Why aren't we seeing 40-year-old retics in our hobby?
Because people don't give a fuck. Because people don't give a fuck. People don't truly know about these animals. People don't really give a fuck. They are a commodity. I don't. Where the fuck is the passion at? You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong. Look, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Do I want to breed? I do. We've always done that, and I don't want to do it. Yes, but it's more than just making money. It's the whole, like I said, it's the whole process of learning the animal, and it's beauty to me. It's beautiful to me. It's amazing to me to be able to do it, to able to help make this wonderful thing happen. You know what I mean? And look, if I'm able, look, I got a job, motherfucker. I work. I got my wife works. Side bitches work. Whatever the case may be. I don't need this. If I'm able to make some money, that's great. It's to buy cages. It's to buy feeders. It doesn't come out of the account. That's amazing. And then maybe I can share this with like-minded people and teach them something. That's what's amazing about this. Reptiles are not fucking dogs. They're not fucking cats. You know, I don't care what it is. So the things that we do with them are truly fucking amazing. Some people lose that. They lose that whole thought process.
Yeah, most of them.
And we're losing localities that mean a lot to the hobby. It's almost something we're talking about 50% and 75% locality, like it's fucking something. fucking clap your hands about.
Right? Hey, let's get a pure animal and then immediately cross it with a morph, because we're going to play Mr. Ball Python and see if this locality can influence this at this day and age. And you just ruined a freaking locality that is so rare, and you're not going to get back if your female or male dies. You can't reproduce that because you wanted to put a morph to that animal, because you think that morph going to that animal is going to make a pattern change or a color change that's going to make you stand out and get you more money. Because you don't care about the lineage, you don't care about the locality, you care about making the next thing bigger, better, more colorful, bigger price tag.
I agree with you 100%. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I'm not going to get mad at anybody for doing that. I don't have an issue with it. That's what we do. That's part of what we do. But don't lose focus. Don't lose that blood. Don't lose that locality. There was something about that animal that you liked. There was something about that animal that was special. Let's not lose that. I don't have an issue with taking a locality and adding it to whatever the fuck, but breeding the locality out is what I have an issue with. That's what I have an issue with. Because, like I said, for me and for others, there was something that we saw in this species that we love that drew us to reticulated python. Can we still fucking have it? It's important. If we cannot get animals, if it stops where we cannot get locality animals back into the US, what are we doing? I think it's important. Like I have no issues making new mutations or anything like that. I feel like that's part of what we do, but it's also very, very important that we keep it. We got to keep some shit pure, man. That's Jesus fuck. I mean, goddamn. That's why we doing this shit. We didn't have no goddamn. We ain't have no anthrax when I got into this shit. We ain't have no goddamn mochinos and mochas and shit and all this other goddamn. We didn't have none of this shit. There was a reason why we liked reticulated python. There was a reason. Let's not. I think that's important that we keep that. And I don't understand why other people don't see that.
You put anybody of the new people on the spot without them getting them to use Google. I guarantee you, if they had no phone in front of them and you asked them dead in the eye, what does reticulated python mean? None of them could answer it. Not one single new person could answer it. And that's what's sad, because the reticulated python, reticulated is for their pattern. And it means net-like pattern or busy pattern, however you want to take the translation. And it's unique. The snake is named after its pattern. This is not the Burmese python, which is from Burma, Sri Lanka, Africa. You know, this is an animal that's named for its pattern, its natural pattern, because it's so amazing.
Exactly. And the whole thing about it is like, this whole video is about morph versus locality. And they both have They both have their place. But I literally feel in my heart, locality animals are more fucking important, especially here in the U.S. now with all this bullshit going on.
And we're
People
about
are
to
trying
lose it all.
they're trying to take our fucking freedoms away. They're trying to take our rights away. Plain and simple, because of fears. Fear mongering is what it is. That's all it is.
Yep. Yeah, but if you think about it, the fear mongering, we did it to ourselves.
No, it is. It's our fucking fault. It's our fucking fault. It's the retic keepers' fault. It's the large constrictors, people who deal with anaconda. It's all of our faults. You know, plain and simple. It's our fucking fault. Whatever happens, and I hope to God that we can all come together and everything that we're trying to do now with US Arc and everything, we come together and we make it better and we fucking do something. But if it happens, it's our fucking fault. There's nobody else to blame.
Yeah.
We become complacent. We think everything's okay. And the fact to this day, and it was me too. I mean, I was like, oh, we're good. And I don't understand. Like, I think to myself, I'm like, what the fuck was you thinking? And I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that at all. None. And every single person that has or deals with any kind of large constrictor should feel ashamed of themselves and be scared that this shit could be taken away from us. Yeah, any time now. Plain and fucking
anytime. Anytime. And the only way, and I will argue this till I die, the only way that it will get better is if us large constrictor keepers can pull it together and get all of them off the Lacey Act. Because no matter what anybody tells you, as long as those animals are on the Lacey Act, they will always be a target, it will always be a threat, and they will always be able to be taken away like that.
I agree with you 100%. You know, there are certain people in this hobby that want to talk about how there's a bigger picture. And there is a big picture. I mean, it is, because the whole thing about it is that in all reality that, yeah, they might be coming for us first, but they're going to be coming for your fucking gecko and your Pac-Man frog. And they're going to be coming for all this shit. Plain and simple. Don't fucking kid yourself. But these motherfuckers, they think. They fooling some of us. They ain't fooling me. No, they ain't fooling you. I don't know what it's almost like they got a goddamn, like a hidden, I don't know what you call it.
They got people watching, James, in every group, in every way, shape, or form. You might not think so. You might think the nicest person on a group that shows pictures of their snakes and says how much they love them, they get paid by people. They get paid by HSUS. They get paid by PETA. They get paid by special interest groups to watch. The large, every animal that's up on a docket gets watched. There are people on payrolls, and they're very good at their jobs. And because the large constrictor community cannot come together, they don't police themselves, and they do and show off stupid shit. It's just more ammo against us, because we think that if we just, let's just give some money to US Arc and they'll take care of us. Yeah, great. Give money to US Arc, hold them accountable, but you got to police yourself. Use some common sense. PETA and HSUS take down people every single day, all around the country, in every community. And they do it when nobody's looking. Yeah, and because people have become complacent.
Exactly. And the whole thing about it is like, okay, so I'm an admin on the Retic Nation, and on what is it? We got like 13 over like
13.
a lot of people. And you know what? There's been a lot of posts made about, okay, so are you a member, this and that? And one post got like 95 people that that made a reply. 95 fucking people out of 13,500 fucking people that are supposedly members of the Retic Nation. Like less than 100 fucking people replied to it. You fucking kidding me? Like honestly, if you, I can't speak for everybody, but we've been talking about it and everything, and I don't want to say this is the law or anything like that, but we've been talking about that if you want to become a member of the Retic Nation, then you have to prove that you're a member of USART, which I think is fucking beautiful, and it should be for any goddamn ball python, bearded dragon, frog, turtle, salamander, goldfish, fucking all that shit, you know? And I just, you know, it's ridiculous. We're losing everything. We're losing. And to think that the people that think that nothing's going to happen, you're kidding yourself. You're fucking kidding yourself. Because we're fucking losing everything. We're losing not just the animals that you love. We're losing fucking history.
Well, I'll put it in perspective on the people that don't think you're going to lose, anything's going to happen. I'm going to give you perspective with the Lacey Act. Fisheries biology, I'm going back to my background. When the Asian carp hit Illinois, now the Asian carp are all the way up here in North Dakota. They have infiltrated every body of water. They couldn't stop it. But when the Asian carp hit the Illinois River and sprouted into the streams and got up into spillways for tributaries, watersheds, reservoirs, they started closing down areas all over the Midwest that were public fishing. They started closing them. So if you were caught fishing there, you would either get a ticket or get arrested. And this was public access for 100 years to go fishing freely whenever you wanted to. But because the Asian carp is on the Lacey Act, because it's an invasive species, and it made it into these areas because fishermen were not doing what they were asked to do when they caught these animals by killing them immediately. They would usually throw them back, or they wouldn't check their boats, or they would catch a bunch of bait fish, use them as bait fish. They wouldn't be dead, and they spread. They started closing off waterways, and now all these fishermen lose so much land and so many rights to go fishing in fishing holes because the government is so fucking scared that fishermen are going to spread these animals that they are using every inch of the Lacey Act to enforce this. So reticulated pythons are on the Lacey Act. We basically just have a stay of execution. If it goes into full federal force against reticulated pythons, you're screwed. You become illegal by owning one for having an invasive species.
I don't understand why or how people don't like freedom. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I get it.
I don't get that, because that's basically what you're doing. You're giving up all your fucking freedoms. You know, you're giving up your fucking freedoms. You know, and it don't make any sense. I don't. There's always people. There's always bad people. You know, there's people that drop off their fucking dogs and cats and shit like that, you know, and I'm sure there's people that let loose their fucking whatever, you know. But that being said, I don't know. We're fixing to lose a lot of shit. And the whole point of this video was talking about localities versus morphs and everything like that. And you're going to lose your fucking freedoms to keep these animals. Localities are fucking important. Localities are fucking real important. Having these animals, not being able to fucking import shit, that's important. Got to get these animals all fucking, we got to get them off that list. Plain and simple. I love making new shit. I think it's great. It's beautiful. Go make that. Do you. Go make that fucking world's first. We'll give you a fucking cookie. We'll bake you a cake. Blow out the candles. Yay, you. Nobody gives a fuck. You know how many fucking world's first I fucking made and give two shits and a fuck about? Don't give two shits and a fuck about. And don't care.
It ain't gonna mean shit. It ain't gonna mean shit.
Don't mean nothing. 9 times out of 10, the world first that I made was not even, it wasn't the goal animal that I was trying to make. So it didn't even mean nothing. But you know what? Without localities, having pure blood, having all this shit like that that's coming in here, it means so much. It means so much to you. It means so much to everybody that these animals mean something to. And if you can't see that and you don't understand that, it doesn't matter how cool the new fucking morphs are. I love the shit. I love it. I do. I love albinos, man. I love anthrax is my favorite goddamn reticulated python. There's history with me with the anthrax. And the ocelot shit, that's just, to me, goddamn, damn near makes my dick hard. I mean, I love that shit. It is what it is. But you know, having wild caught stuff and having locality stuff, man, that means so fucking much. So much. And anybody who thinks that's not important, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you. You got to be outside your fucking head.
Well, my closing point to it is, on the locality and the U.S. ARC and the Lacey Act, if most of these, I'm trying not to use foul language, special people,
I'll do that.
That are so focused on making that world's first, that $10,000, $20,000 morph, if you put all your energy into helping out, getting these animals, spending the money that you spent to make that world's first, getting these animals off the Lacey Act, and helping out localities around this country, we wouldn't be in this mess. But that world's first will get you that Instagram like or that Facebook like. But you know, all that time and money you spent in the last however many years it's been, we've had that stay of execution. Instead of getting those animals off the Lacey Act, you wanted to make that world's first and have that bright, colorful morph. Well, all that time and money that you put into that project that was so important for you to get notoriety with could have been spent on a lot better things, because all that time and all that money you invested in that animal could be going out the window in a couple months, because your animal is going to go from $20,000 to worthless in a matter of one pen stroke in Washington, D.C.
Exactly. And the whole thing about it is that, I mean, if you don't agree with that, if you don't think that's true, then I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck you think. Your head's up your ass. I don't know what to say about that. That being said, I want to thank everybody who supports us, supports this channel. I'm asking everybody to please, if you're gonna watch the video, please like it. If you don't like it, even hit the fucking thumbs down. Do something. We got videos that we have like X amount of people and only 10 people hit the, God damn it. Take the time, please. Please hit the like button.
Share.
Leave a comment. please leave a comment. I'll look at them. Share the goddamn video. Hit that bell.
And one more thing. Stay tuned because there's a very special guest that's going to be on later.
Yes, we're gonna have a guest coming on. Should we say who, or are we just gonna?
No, let's leave it as a surprise.
Leave it as a surprise, okay. And U.S. art, please. Every video, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna preach it. Please, I don't care what you keep. You should be a member. Please. I think you can become a member for like $20. I don't think you get a t-shirt or nothing. But I think you can become a member with $20. $40 is the bronze membership. You get a t-shirt. I know me personally, like there's we're not closed down here in Texas. Not 100% whatnot. We still have reptile shows and everything.
We're not closed down up here.
I'm gonna try to get with the promoters and whatnot. I'm gonna send Phil a message and see if we can do something to where we have a U.S. art table and everything here in Texas and whatnot. And if you're at a show and you see a U.S. art table and you don't have you don't have $40, whatever the case may be, to become a member, buy a goddamn bumper sticker. Buy a shirt, buy something, give them $1, give them 50 cents, give them your pocket change, something. Every little bit helps. They're the only ones that are here for us, the only ones. And if you donate any money, use your voice. Spend 5 minutes to talk to U.S. art people, especially if Phil's there. Talk to him. Phil's a good guy. He's a fucking awesome guy. He's a good dude. He'll listen to you. Tell him, hey, I got large constrictors. What are we doing with the money that I'm donating? What are we doing with the people that I'm asking to become members and they're actually spending the money to become members? It's important. Have a voice. Now, there's a bigger picture by all means. But you know what? As small as the large restrictors, the community that we are, we still have a voice, and it's just important to us. We're either just going to sit back and we can be thrown underneath the bus, or we're going to fight for it. It's truly up to you. So
if you don't fight for these animals, you don't deserve to have them, period.
Exactly. So again, thank you for your support. Please like, share the video, hit the bell, talk about it, leave comments. If there's something you want us to talk about, leave a comment, reach out to us on Facebook or whatever, and we'll look into doing that. And U.S. art people, become a fucking member. Quit playing. It's needed. Do it, or you ain't shit. That's all I got. What you got, Chip?
That's it. Always remember your Retic history and where they came from.
That's very important. All right, plain and simple. All right, man. Thank you, everybody.
Have a good night.
Sport. Good night. Holla. Have a good one. All right.